I use ChatGPT all the time. Probably every appraisal that I do recently, I've used at least one prompt to go deeper and deeper.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
I was online yesterday and on one of these Facebook forums, and someone was talking about ChatGPT, AI, machine learning, and somebody made a comment, and the comment was, if you're not using ChatGPT, you're behind. That individual got challenged. And the question was, how are you behind if you're not using ChatGPT as an appraiser? I want to answer that question, but first I want to pause and remind you that we are sponsored by Alamode. Alamode, of course, is the software that you should be using to write your appraisal reports. Alamode.com is where you learn more about that, or 800 Alamode. Of course, Working RE Magazine is where I go to find out more about my own chosen career. That's the appraisal career. Check it out by going to workingre.com. Again, workingre.com. All right, folks, ChatGPT, we've talked a little bit about it many times. I'm spending a lot of time in my coaching talking about ChatGPT because it is so instrumental, so life-changing to the appraisal process. Many of you have not caught on yet to its power, what it can actually do for you as an appraiser. I want to talk about some of that. And I definitely want to answer the question on the board, how are you behind if you're not using ChatGPT? I think there is an analogy I'm going to make that I think will hopefully help individuals understand a little bit more. But before I do that, I don't want you to shut off after I give you the analogy, because frankly, I'm talking to two different groups of people right now. This podcast is still early enough in its development that some of you, I don't think there's anybody within the sound of my voice that has not heard of ChatGPT. There's probably a lot of you who have heard of it, maybe even seen it on a certain level, but don't quite grasp the power that it can have in your life and are certainly not utilizing it on a regular day-to-day basis. Folks, I'm not embarrassed to admit, and I'm not embarrassed to admit because of some of the things I'm going to tell you about ChatGPT today. I am not embarrassed to admit that I spend probably an average of 90 minutes a day on ChatGPT. No less than an hour, typically no more than 2 to 3 hours on a day-to-day basis utilizing ChatGPT. And I know some of you are saying, well, Dustin, what in the hell are you doing on ChatGPT for that long? I mean, isn't that the same as gaming, right? What's the difference between that and playing Halo for 3 hours a day? Well, in my opinion, there's a big difference between the two. And I am certainly not going to disparage anyone who is into the gaming community. It's not my cup of tea. Thankfully, knock on wood, it's not been my kids' cup of tea. And when I say thankfully, I definitely think there may be some better things you could be doing with your life. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'll throw it out there. But ChatGPT, I think, is a little different situation. I do not believe and would not put ChatGPT, spending 2 hours a day on ChatGPT, in the same category as, say, scrolling reels on TikTok for 2 hours a day. Could there be some great gain on TikTok? Sure, right? I'm now on TikTok. Hi, wow. For a little different reason than some people are on it. But nonetheless, I do think that it is a little bit of a different category when you're talking about ChatGPT, and here's why. For business development ideas and for thinking through how to go about increasing your business, how to better the business that you have, how to come up with creative ideas on what to do in your life. I don't see a better tool out there right now, the ability to synthesize tools that are already at your disposal. Let me give you an example that I think will kind of help you understand why it is such a powerful tool. The other day, my son was in the process, my 15-year-old son. Now, my 15-year-old son is an entrepreneur at heart. He has started up a landscaping business, and he is in the process of building that business. And part of that is building the hardware to do the business. Now, I am one as a parent that will help my children to get a leg up. I certainly will not give them a handout. I hope you understand the difference there, right? Hand up, hand out, two different things. For example, I purchased a truck that is in my name that I bought with my money that I allow him to utilize for his business and other things, but the repairs, the gas, the oil, the maintenance on the truck are all his, right? Now, some would say that's going too far, but again, it's not his truck. I'm very quick to correct him when he says my truck. I'm like, oh, you mean the truck I allowed you to utilize? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dad. And he went out and bought his own landscaping trailer. He spent almost $2,000 on a landscaping trailer, has fixed it up, painted it, and he was down to the lights. He's doing the lights. And interestingly enough, there is a disconnect between the pigtail that I bought at the auto store and that was on the truck. And things weren't matching up quite right. And I don't remember the exact colors, but it was, let's call it red, black, green, yellow, right? Red, black, green, yellow. But on the truck, it was green, yellow, white, blue. Again, I'm making things up, but a couple of them matched up. Two of them did not. I had a similar situation about 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, I went straight to Google, and I don't remember exact, I didn't keep track, but it probably took me 15, 20 minutes to track down the answer to, how to connect that. Now, I could have just taken the 15 to 20 minutes and just tried things, but then you run the risk of blowing fuses and, blowing bulbs and different things if you don't hook it up quite right. So I took the time to go through Google and sift through websites. So here's the problem when you do a Google search. You do a Google search, you can put in the perfect prompt, if you will, perfect ask, the perfect question in Google, and still have to sort through 5 or 6 different websites with forums and, this person says this and this person says that. And as you're scrolling through the website, you all know there's big advertisements that pop up and you got to get rid of those, and subscribe to our newsletter and you got to get rid of those. And it's just a cumbersome process, right? Google has become, yes, I'm still grateful for Google. Yes, I love living in the information age, but it is hard as hell to get the answer to your question. Now the experience with my son. Jumped on ChatGPT on my phone, typed in, I'm trying to connect a pigtail to a truck on the trailer wires. On the truck are these 4 colors, and on the pigtail there are these 4 colors. Which one should I hook up? And within seconds, I had the perfect answer. It had gone out, it had sifted through its database, which is huge, by the way, and it had delivered to me exactly what I wanted in the format that I wanted within seconds. Now, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when you think about the 15 minutes that I spent 6 months ago coming up with a similar question or a similar answer to a similar question versus the seconds that I was able to utilize a database that sifted through, got rid of all the advertisements, got rid of all of the reading through the, the unrelated material, sifted out the junk and simply got to the answer. Folks, I'm telling you, that is powerful. Now, that was on a pigtail, a wiring harness for a truck. What then can you do for your business development, for your marketing side of things? I spent about 2 hours today on ChatGPT simply exploring business ideas. I'll go to that. I'm not going to go into detail. I had a question on my mind. which led me down a rabbit hole to asking questions of ChatGPT and coming up with answers and blah, 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 blah. And we went down this road. The power of that particular tool, yes, it comes with its scary sides as well, right? Elon Musk once said that he's more afraid of AI than he is nuclear weapons, and for good reason. I've heard some interviews with some powerful people who know about AI that I understand the risks, right? But honestly, the genie is out of the bottle, right? Pandora has left her box. There's not any way to put that toothpaste back in the tube. Now we have to decide as a human race how to harness it, how to control it, how to corral it in such a way that we're not going to have these major problems. But as far as the power of the tool, I see that it can have benefits on multiple levels, right? I'll just give you three very quickly. Number one, I've already mentioned marketing, right? The idea of, hey, asking ChatGPT, I'm a real estate appraiser. I'm in a medium-sized market. I mostly have worked for AMCs in the past. I want to expand my business to direct lending and to attorneys. Help me to get some ideas as to how to do that. You'll be surprised what the answer comes back, right? Now, there's a couple of things that I just mentioned there that you need to be aware of. The more data that you can give ChatGPT, the better the answer, right? Notice I said I'm a real estate appraiser. I gave it the background. I've mostly focused on AMC work in the past. I've not just asked the question, but I've given more of an idea as to why I'm asking the question, right? You cannot give too much data to ChatGPT, but you can utilize it for, and by the way, the answer that you get from ChatGPT is probably not going to be the best answer on the first go. I've learned to ask additional questions. I've learned to say, no, that's not really what I mean. What I meant was, and then it will say, oh, I'm so sorry. And then it'll give you a better answer. Or you might take part of the answer and say, expand more on that. What does that mean? Or let's go deeper on that. And asking additional questions can bring more and more benefit, right? So marketing is a powerful thing that you can do with ChatGPT that I spend a lot of time on. Business development, I talked about that earlier, right? Ideas that you might have for growing your business. The other aspect. So that's number one, business development, marketing side of things. Now, marketing will also bleed into number two, which is content creation. So powerful for content creation, blogs, video logs, right? Writing scripts for TikTok videos, for example. I know, let's not talk about TikTok, but the idea of being known as the expert, something I've talked about here for years, right? Your best marketing scheme is to be known as an expert, and ChatGPT can do that. Lately, I have been using ChatGPT for report writing. Yes, 1004 writing. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, Dustin. Recently wrote an article for the Buzz that got put out with real life ChatGPT prompts that I have used specifically, not for blog writing, not for content creation, not for marketing, not for business development, but for actual appraising, right? Prompts that you can put in that will bring back amazing results that will help you to develop a better appraisal practice, actual boots on the ground, technologically advanced report writing. And I absolutely am convinced that that is the future of AI. That is the future of valuation, that we are going to have a much bigger dependency on AI, on machine learning, on utilizing technology and mixing that with our expertise as appraisers. And so this idea that ChatGPT is just kind of a fun idea, it's kind of a game, if you will, kind of a let's play around and see what funny things we can come up with. That can be fun too, but that's not the power of ChatGPT or any AI learning, right? I'm using ChatGPT because that's what I'm on, that's what I'm learning from. The idea that AI, machine learning, is a part of our lives moving forward. Again, that genie is out of the bottle. And I want to come back and answer with an analogy, the question on the table, right? If you are not utilizing ChatGPT in your appraisal office, what are you missing out on? I'll tell you, if you're not using a la mode in your report writing process, you are absolutely 100% missing out on the best technology out there for report writing. A la mode, CoreLogic, the technology that will allow you to be able to utilize built-in tools, right? Tools that you don't have with other software. Yes, the price tag is a little higher than the competitors. Folks, the little higher, I want to stress, because the value of your investment, second to none. A la mode, you can find out more by calling them at 800 a la mode or going to their website at alamode.com. All right, folks, I want to talk to you about Working RE magazine. Working RE is, I've got friends over at Working RE. The chief editor, Isaac Peck, is a friend of mine. And I can tell you that my discussions with Isaac, there is no doubt in my mind that he cares about appraisers, that he spends countless hours on a regular basis, making sure that he is up to date on what is happening right away. We've been talking about ChatGPT today. As of this recording, ChatGPT really only goes to September 2021, right? Their database, the database of the chat box only goes up to September 2021, meaning anything that's happened since September 2021, it doesn't have that information, including ChatGPT 4. If you go into ChatGPT 3.5 and ask it about ChatGPT 4, it'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing, right? It's kind of funny. But Working RE is different, right? Working RE is live. Working RE is working on court cases that are currently going on with real estate appraisers, the racial biased information in the news, right on top of that kind of thing. Bills that are being passed, technology and how things are changing, they're on top of all of that. Check it out by going to workingre.com. Again, subscribe to their new newsletter, their free newsletter at workingre.com. And welcome back to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris, your humble host, hanging out in the podcast chair, talking once again about ChatGPT. Yes, if you are a follower of the podcast, you know that I'm excited about this kind of thing. Back in February of 2023, I did my first webinar on ChatGPT. I promise there are more to come. And you can, by the way, get access to that webinar by joining our all-star team at theappraisercoach.com. The question on the board. And again, this goes back to a discussion that was happening online on a Facebook group, specifically an appraisal Facebook group. And the question was posed, or the comment was made by one of the commentators. If you're not on ChatGPT as an appraiser, you are behind. And the question that came back from another respondent was, how am I behind if I'm not on ChatGPT? Folks, here's my analogy. I believe that not being on ChatGPT and again, I'm not just talking about being goofy and playing with it and finding out things here and there, right? I use it for all kinds of things, but I'm talking specifically today about appraisal, about business development, about marketing, about content creation. And yes, I'm talking about utilizing it for report writing. And I'm not just talking about narrative reports. I'm talking about the old-fashioned 1004. I use ChatGPT all the time. Probably every appraisal that I do recently, I've used at least one prompt to go deeper and deeper. And so the question on the board, how are you behind when you're not using ChatGPT as an appraiser? I would say this: not being on ChatGPT currently, as of this recording, right, summer of 2023, is like unto not being on the internet in the year 2000. Now, I know that's a bold statement. And I know that you're going to say, well, Dustin, that's taking things a little bit too far. Remember, the internet, started, I don't even remember, the 70s and 80s as an experiment through, military development, different things. It was available in the early 90s to the public and really did not really start to hit the ground running until about 1995, 1996. Okay. Fast forward to 4 or 5 years later, And in the year 2000, yes, things were slow. Yes, we still had AOL. Yes, we still had modem dial-ups, folks. But if you weren't on the internet in 2000, you were behind. I would say if you are not on ChatGPT today, you are behind for the very reasons that I gave you at the beginning of the program. Thank you for joining me today, folks. I talked about the All-Star team. Join us, won't you? Great group. And we talk about ChatGPT there all the time, right? I'm constantly giving them information and people are talking about and discussing it. It is not the same as any other Facebook group. And that's, by the way, just one benefit of joining the All-Star team. You've got the newsletter, you've got the monthly webinar, micro mentoring, access to me. There's so many benefits belonging to members of the All-Star team. I highly encourage you to be there or be square. Thank you for joining me today, folks, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.